Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to looking at Rob's fingers as he puts them in front of the camera.
Fingers.
There we
Hello, and welcome to Hometown Ghost Stories, Campfire Ghost Stories, Part 2. Tonight, we bring you never before heard ghost stories around this real, authentic campfire. I'm Jesse Wilkins. Behind me is Dave Wilkins. Endlessly fidgeting with the camera behind it is Rob Coakley, who will be here soon.
Kate, I'm going to need you to...
We're here to tell you the scariest stories that you've ever heard in your life. So interact with us and join us as we go live, as we are live,
We are live.
for yet another episode of Hometown Ghost Stories Live, Campfire Tales. I will now stand in front of Dave for the rest of
I'm
the
in front of
stream.
the TikTok camera with my ass.
You're welcome.
My butt.
Got us
His
banned.
butt. Yes. All right.
Am I too tall for the camera, Kate? Tell me that. No, the
YouTube one?
yeah, the YouTube one.
I think you're good.
Hold on. It's a little delayed. No, you're fine.
Okay, good.
This is what you're looking at.
Sick. Well, we are here.
Wow.
We have stories to tell.
Oh yeah.
If you didn't join us for the last one, we did this sort of like Are You Afraid of the Dark to start the night. What usually happens is myself and Dave have stories prepared, and Jesse gets nothing prepared, and he has to ad-lib ghost stories at the end. So we're going to start off with some serious stories, and then things escalate from there, is what I will say.
Or de-escalate.
Or yeah, I guess de-escalate is a good way to put it. Where is my first ghost story? Oh, it's on my chair.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll give everybody a few minutes to jump in to the room.
It's a perfect New England night for a fire. It doesn't feel
God,
like
it's so good.
early August. It feels like mid-October, but it's not.
I was asked if I was supervising you guys. So.
Yes,
Yep.
the wonderful Kate is, in fact, supervising.
That's right.
There was just a ghostly child in the window, but she's gone now.
Yes.
Thank God, it was terrifying.
Why don't you pull up YouTube on your phone so we can actually monitor comments with us?
That's what Kate's doing.
I'm watching right now.
Yes.
All right.
Do you want me to shout out things to you guys?
No, that's why I want Dave to pull it up.
But
So,
yeah.
if this is your first time tuning into a Hometown Ghost Stories Campfire Tales, the way it works is kind of what Rob just said, which is Dave and Rob have prepared and I have not. So they're going to read ghost stories, and these are new ghost stories. So if you're familiar with the show,
Also, none of them are ghost stories.
Yeah, neither am I on a ghost stories either.
tonight on Scary Stories by the Campfire, we'll be reading scary stories that have nothing to do with ghosts.
We might have some ad-lib ghost stories at the end, though. But this also gives us a chance to expand our storytelling and not do a ghost story every single time, because we do so many ghost stories. So,
Yep.
Step outside the dark is what they say.
is that but they're still pretty dark.
Work it
Step
down.
inside the box. Something along those lines. That's what they say. But that's what we're going to do. And there'll be a few stories to tell.
Yes. So everyone is getting in here. Did you guys have a favorite story from our last Campfire Tales?
I did. There was one, I think one of you guys told it. It was about the forest. It had no rocks.
Oh yeah.
One of you guys, I think, was tenderizing an octopus for the required 10 to 12 hours
yes.
at least.
That was also my favorite ghost story from last time.
Yes, isn't that unfortunate? Don't you feel foolish for preparing? No, but I'm excited. This is yet another one, and while the weather permits, we'll continue to do these live campfire ghost stories. To everybody on TikTok as well, hello. Thank you for joining, and stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Some YouTube comments going on. Kristen says this is her first time tuning into a live. She usually listens on Spotify. Welcome. This is not going to be like what you usually hear on Spotify.
It's a little bit different.
Regina says, Rob, stop being a diva.
Thanks, Regina.
Brian Mensching asking if there are marshmallows. There are marshmallows, we're just not roasting them. They do exist, though. They are
Like
real.
on the planet?
Yeah.
Dave has confirmed the existence of marshmallows. Very important, pivotal moment.
Hey, it's
of,
Shay
Hometown
says,
Stories.
yay, another Campfire Ghost Stories. Jess Lamelli says, popping in just in time. Rachel B says, hey, Kate. And yeah, lots of comments.
No one says hello to us. They say hello to Kate and they just roast us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna ask
exactly.
you guys nicely not to say hi to Kate
Listen,
anymore.
I wrap your guys' gifts so nice.
She does so nice. It's true. Well,
Did we bring the powder glove? Oh,
We
we brought a
didn't.
shot
I
glass,
got a shot
actually.
glass and a
Yeah.
skull glass.
oh, it's a little,
Yeah.
all right, so we have,
It's a scoopy.
And TikTok will be happy that there will be absolutely no alcohol consumed out of this shot glass.
that's right. It's a mini version of the big guy. It's a little guy that we're going to use.
Yep.
So we don't get our hands all sticky, because we are.
It's like a regular person skull and a Dave skull inside.
I actually have a large head.
You do. It's disgusting, actually. Everyone's upset.
Disgustingly large.
We are all upset about
It
that.
is
Hairs
truly sickening.
Rain rattle around in it.
Who's going to read the first ghost story of the night?
If we're reading the first ghost story, why don't we go to the only person who reads ghost stories?
Also, the only person who can read.
That's true. What am I? A joke to you? You only put this much of the spooky dust in it?
Sorry, I'll do some more.
Oh, look at that. To the brim. It's the only
There it
time
is.
Rob has ever filled up a shot glass with us.
That's not true. Kate recently posted a picture of us the night of the pickleback shots.
That was a
Oh,
rough
boy.
night. That was a rough night. Ended in one destroyed iPhone and almost getting arrested, actually.
Yeah.
Almost a destroyed relationship over that destroyed iPhone, too, between
So-
you and I.
Brief story. We were celebrating before you go into that, we were celebrating our 100th episode. No,
No, we weren't.
we were celebrating getting signed to Bloody FM. We were like, hey, our podcast got signed to a network. That's pretty cool. So we go to Salem, which is one of our favorite places to go. And we're all celebrating. And Rob has this idea. He's like, hey, you guys should try pickleback shots. And I think we've told this story a little bit on the show before, but for new people, we had never tried pickleback shots. At least I hadn't. Basically, you do a shot of Jameson and then you follow it with a shot of pickle juice. And it kind of nullifies that sweet, amazing burn of whiskey, which people like Dave and myself, that's why we drink whiskey. But anyways, the pickle juice does, make it so you can theoretically do, anywhere between 7 to 23 of shots of those in a single night, which is unfortunately what we did.
Too many.
Anyways, the end of the night, it's me and one of our brothers. You guys are familiar with him, Captain McSlugs, aka Andrew, and he decides that he would like to acquire the sunglasses that I have, and I say, hey, no, and then I ran away at full speed down whatever the Essex Street.
Essex Street. Yeah.
Full speed, and he's full speed behind me like the Terminator. No facial expression, because Andrew never has a facial expression. Thank you for that music. And anyways, he tackles me, and turns out I had my phone in my back pocket, and I also had like the iPod case, or no, the earpod case, AirPod's the word for it,
Yes.
in the back same pocket. Anyways, it absolutely crushed my phone. My phone was like curved around the AirPod case, absolutely destroyed it. And while he's choking me out on the ground, mind you, with pure love, because this is all a joke to us, turns out he had tackled me right next to a police cruiser full of cops. And they just get out, and he's choking me out on the ground. And I'm like, you'll never get my sunglasses. And the police just walk over to us like, guys, come on. And I'm like, oh, it's fine, he's my brother. And meanwhile, Andrew's still just actively strangling me. And the police officer's like, we don't want to have to arrest you. And we're like, okay, sorry. Anyways, I'm upset. We go back to the hotel. And it's Dave and Kate and then me. We all had a room at the Hawthorne Hotel. So mystery as to why we haven't found ghosts there. We're just hammered every time we're there. But anyways. And Dave, just out of left field, I was like, I broke my phone. I'm upset, whatever. And Dave's like, well, maybe you shouldn't lose a fight to your little brother. And it was just the most out of hand thing to say. So I'm like, dude, what? So I go to slam the door, but it's carpeted and the door, the door doesn't slam. I go to slam the door with all my might and then get in Dave's face and the door just goes, and then we just stand there and Dave's like, well, that isn't how you thought that would go. And we all just laughed and like, that was the end of it. So.
Yeah.
That was the time I almost beat the bag out of Dave.
I got so lucky. That
Saved-
door really saved my life. That
Saved by the door foofing instead of slamming.
Look at that torch.
Jesus Christ, Rob. What have you conjured?
Anyways,
Well, now I got to tell a scary story after a funny story.
Yes.
You've put me
Yes.
in such an awkward position.
Now nobody can call me out for not telling a story tonight. You guys said they weren't ghost stories. Ah.
All right, so this
this
first
was actually probably the closest to a ghost story.
I almost died. Nobody knows. Twice.
We were ghost hunting.
Once by getting choked up by Andrew and once by daring to threaten you. Anyways.
I was also just wandering the streets of Salem at that time.
Yeah, no, you wanted to go get footage. You're always focused on the show.
Yes.
Hammered or not.
Yes. All right, so this first one is called The Touch.
Work.
Hell yeah.
Not bad.
They say that I killed 600 girls, that I drained them dry, bathed in their blood, that I carved runes into their skin and laughed as they died. They say many things. The truth is, I only did what was necessary to stay beautiful, to stay alive. I wasn't the first to realize what blood could do, but I perfected it. The younger the girl, the purer the skin. My handmaidens would bring them in, scrub them, calm them. Then I'd cut. Shallow at first, just enough to paint my cheeks. But it wasn't long before I craved more. A warm bath, a tub filled to the brim, steam curling around me, crimson and thick. That's when I truly began to understand what power felt like. Not just the softness of my skin afterward, but something deeper. A tightening beneath my ribs, a buzzing in the skull. My reflection looked back with eyes too bright. Time stopped touching me, but it didn't stop. Soon, I needed more. More girls, more blood, more silence. And eventually, too many people began to notice. They locked me away like an animal, in my own tower, my own walls. I didn't scream. I asked for something to show me the way. And in the dark, something listened. It came to me as I slept, or while it thought I was sleeping. A voice like rotten silk, whispering between the stones. I couldn't see it, but I could feel it curling around my spine. You know how to survive, it said. Let me show you how to last. And it did. It taught me the rules of the exchange. That I could leave my body behind if I found another. That all I needed was her trust, her hand in mine, her willingness. The rest would take care of itself. The first time, it was a peasant girl who fed me through the wall. She looked at me like I was something holy. I told her I was dying, that I wanted someone to pray with, that I was afraid. She cried when she took my hand. She screamed when her bones began to twist. I walked free in her skin, and no one knew. I've lived 1,000 lives since then, always young, always new. I was no longer Elizabeth Bathory. Now, I was a chambermaid in a London brothel in 1765, a Civil War widow in Mississippi in 1863, a flapper girl with a fake laugh and a bottle of gin in 1927,
A flapper girl, you say?
a motel housekeeper who no one tipped in 1971. Today, I wear denim and a hoodie, and I dye my hair like everyone else. I'll tell people that my name is Rachel, or Celine, or Jessica, depending on the city. Sometimes I work in coffee shops. Sometimes I volunteer at shelters. It's always easier to find them near the edge. The girls with shadows behind the eyes. The ones no one will miss. No family. No witnesses. No noise. I take my time. I learn their habits, their stories. And when I offer my hand, I always mean it. It's an invitation, not a trick. They choose me. And in the morning, I look in the mirror and smile with lips that are not mine. Skin tight, eyes clear, heart beating like it's new. They never know what really happened. They call it a breakdown, a psychotic break. Some poor girl with no past, raving about being trapped in someone else's body. Sometimes they institutionalize them. Sometimes they don't even bother. Eventually, they stop screaming. People imagine evil as fire and chaos, but that's not what evil looks like. Evil is kind eyes, a soft voice, a hand reaching out in the dark saying, I've been where you are, let me help you. And when they take it, I take everything. I've outlived kings, kingdoms, empires. I've seen cities burn and rise again with different names. I've worn corsets, veils, uniforms, and jeans. I've danced in candlelight and under LED strobes. I've had portraits painted and selfies taken. And I haven't aged a day. And I will outlive you too. You've passed me on the street, sat beside me on the bus, liked my photo without knowing why. And maybe, just maybe, one night when your luck's run out and your phone's dead and your friends don't answer, I'll be the only one who stops to help, the only one who sees you, the only one who offers her hand. I hope, for your sake, that you take it.
That was cool.
Interesting twist on Erzbit Boutry.
Yeah.
That's where I thought you were going with that to start.
Yeah.
Maybe you were, and maybe
was.
you. Well, I know it was to begin with, or at
Oh,
least
but then it
inspired
changed.
by, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was inspired by her. I was kind of given a prompt for that story, and I took it that direction. So,
I
Who
liked
gave you
it.
that wonderful prompt?
Regina.
Ah,
Yes.
very good.
Oh yeah,
That's a good story.
Yes.
nicely done.
Thank you.
There were a couple of comments that said it sounds like Elizabeth Boutry and Bloody Mary, and a couple that pointed out that it sounded like a Denzel Washington movie called Fallen. Thank you. Yes, thank you. So yeah, there was that.
I'll tell you what Washington movie it didn't sound like was Training Day.
No.
Literally no relation.
Yeah, not at all, actually.
Some would say no reason to even bring that up.
Great movie though.
Yeah, Fallen it does kind of have that Fallen vibe. I wasn't thinking of that movie when I was doing it. You'll see that I had a sort of theme that I went with my two stories for tonight. But
Well,
Yeah.
that's exciting. That is exciting.
yes, is it time for Thesbian Dave?
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about Training Day a little bit.
Oh, is that what you wanted to talk
It was
about?
a great movie.
Just talk about Training Day.
There's a great joke in Training Day.
I actually think Training Day was overrated. I think it's fine.
I think you can make that argument just because it was such a highly rated movie, which I loved. I loved it. I loved the
I
movie.
think it was good. I think he has better movies.
Man on Fire is one of my favorite movies of all time.
John
Man on Fire
Q.
was good.
John Q was good. Man on Fire was just like, man, that was good.
Glory is incredible. If you've never seen Glory.
Papa Squatch sent some gift memberships.
Oh, how many?
10.
Thank you, Papa
Wow,
Squatch.
thank you, Papa Squatch,
Thank you
for
so
10
much.
gifted memberships on YouTube. If you guys got a membership, make sure you say thank you to the good old Papa Squatch. Excited
right.
to see you in October. Also, if you haven't heard yet, especially you TikTok, we have a live show coming up. So if you want to come see us live, like actually live in the flesh, come do a meet and greet. We have a live show coming up October 24th in Weymouth, Massachusetts. And we did this last year. We're going to do it again. We're going to run it back at the same place, Barrel House Z. It's a brewery in Weymouth, October 24th. Brent from the Paranormal Portal, many of you actually came over from that show, and many of you are familiar with Brent. He's been on our show multiple times, but make sure you swing by October 24th. Tickets are on sale now. I believe, is today the 31st, or are we in August now?
We are in August.
The promo code has expired, but that's okay. You can still grab your tickets. Just go to Eventbrite, search Hometown Ghost Stories. I'm sure one of the mods will drop that in chat, a link right there.
Or go to hometownghoststories.com and go to the events page. It's there as well.
Oh, it's set up there. Nice.
Nice.
Good, good.
That's right. Thanks to the lovely Kate Wilkins for running that page for us.
Yes, indeed. But yeah,
Yes, indeed, indeed.
absolutely. So yeah, we'll be joined by Brent Thomas and hosted by Colin Campbell, the ever so entertaining man himself, and a couple other surprises as well. Perhaps some special guests, maybe some live music, possibly some guest DJs. Who knows? It's gonna be a lot of fun. So make sure you swing by October 24th, Weymouth, Massachusetts. Tickets on sale now. HometownGhostStories.com. There's a giant spider web that is just getting closer and closer to your face.
I know.
Oh
I've
my
been
God, I
watching
see
this
it.
little spider construct it all night.
Have you?
Yeah.
Is he upon Rob now?
Yes. It is a brown recluse.
Are you serious?
Yeah. What?
Is he poisonous?
Yeah, but he'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
All right. I have a story that I crafted with this brain of mine.
That's promising.
20 membership.
20 gifted from another Vice. Wow, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Laura
that.
Rice.
Absolutely legendary.
Yes, thank you. And this story is called The Pipeline.
It's crazy how good that stuff works.
The sun was shining. The sky was blue. White puffy clouds floated above. But I knew where I was going. It was going to be very dark. I had been a union plumber since the 1980s, and the job was pretty much the same every day. I'd go down into the pipelines and follow them into the sewer. And today was just like one of those days. The dark, damp, cool air welcomed me like an old friend as I descended the pipeline down into the sewer. Every single pipeline was different, but they were all really kind of the same. Sure, they served different purposes, but they were always dark, they were always wet, they were full of fungus, mushrooms, weird little creatures. In fact, just as I was thinking about the weird little creatures we'd see down there, I heard one scurrying towards me. Just like that. I heard the little footprints slapping on the wet floor. Before I had a chance to shine my flashlight onto it, I could feel it biting at my feet, so I kicked it, and I heard it hit the wall. I shined my light on it, and it looked like a weird, mangy little duck. I paid no attention to it, of course, because I was used to this, and I kept walking down the pipeline. My goal was to solve the problem, and the problem was that water had stopped flowing through the pipes. And it didn't take me long to figure out what the problem was. As I made my way through that pipe, I found the section of the pipe missing, about a 6-foot section just completely gone. And I knew in order to solve this problem, I would have to get from one side of the pipe to the other. Protocol said that I should go back to the top, get one of the other union plumbers, and bring him down with me, along with a ladder, so that I could bridge that gap safely. But it was such a long way back and a long way back up the pipeline that I figured a 6-foot gap's not that bad, and I could probably clear it with a running start. So that's what I did. I took a few steps back, got a running start, and I jumped to clear that 6-foot gap. But as I stepped towards the edge, my foot slipped, and I tumbled into the darkness. Down, down, down. My feet hit first, shattering both my ankles. Pain shot up my legs as my shin bones splintered. Knees buckled, and my femur bones snapped. Sharp, jagged bone piercing through the flesh of my thighs. That's when my spine crumbled, and my chin hit the concrete floor. All I saw was a flash of light, and then complete darkness. The sun was shining. The sky was blue. White puffy clouds were in the sky up above, but I knew where I was going to be very dark. I was a union plumber since the 1980s, and I would have to climb down into the sewers. And today was just like every other day. The pipelines were all the same, but they were always a little bit different. Today my legs hurt. I didn't know why. as I walked down that pipeline, thinking about the creatures that I'd sometimes run into. And as I was thinking about it, I could hear one running down the pipeline towards me, little feet slapping against the wet floor. I kicked it. Jesus Christ! Here's the creature.
I don't know if that picked up on the audio, but there was a blood-curdling scream behind us.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, just as the creature ran up screaming at me, I kicked it as hard as I could and it hit the side of the pipeline wall. I shined my flashlight on it. It was a weird, mangy duck sort of creature. But I paid no attention to it because I had a job to do, despite the pain that I was in that I couldn't explain. Soon enough, I found the problem. There was a missing 6-foot section in the pipeline. And I knew that I should go back up and get somebody with a ladder so that I could bridge that gap safely. But I didn't feel like it. And it was such a short gap that I figured if I got a running start, I could clear that gap. So that's what I did. But as I reached the edge, my foot slipped and I tumbled into the darkness. Pain seared through my body as my ankles hit the ground and shattered. Shin bones splintered, knees buckled, femur bones snapped, jagged bone piercing through the flesh of my thighs. And that's when my spine collapsed and my chin hit the floor. Nothing but black. The sun was shining. The sky was blue. The white clouds above were puffy, and I was in agonizing pain. All I could think about was tumbling through the darkness. And I don't know what it was that carried me back down that pipeline again. This time I remembered the whole thing. I remembered walking through. I remembered the weird little duck creature that I kicked. And I remember finding the gap in the pipe. And still, I went through the motions and jumped and tumbled. Blackness. The sun was shining. The skies were blue. The white clouds were puffy. And again, I descended into that pipeline. Did I die? Was I in hell? Was my hell a horrible cycle of searing, agonizing pain, time and time again? And was this my eternity? God, please no. The pain that I would feel in my legs, my spine, my jaw, over and over and over again, tumbling in through the darkness, shattering bones, and then blackness. Billy took the rectangular controller in his hand and he threw it up against the wall in frustration and said, "I cannot beat this level." And Billy's little brother turned to him and said, "Is it my turn yet?" And he said, "No." And he pressed play again. The sun was shining. My name was Mario.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I feel like you just ruined a wonderful residual haunting ghost story.
No, that was the POV of Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
And how absolutely terrible it is to torture these characters over and over just so you could beat the stupid level.
Wow, not bad.
Thanks.
That was wonderfully told. Wonderfully told. I wish I could say the same about your story.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that was good. That was good. When you restarted it, I was like, oh, there's a glitch. Dave accidentally restarted his story.
Well, he said the key detail that his legs hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
In the second one, so that was a good story. I enjoyed it.
I just thought this was a regular story of you on the job. There's no way Dave clears the 6-foot gap. Not with those legs.
I would have had I not slipped.
That's right, yeah. I think the moral of the story is just don't kick ducks.
Don't kick ducks.
Little duck creatures.
I couldn't add in the detail that the duck had a turtle shell or everyone would have known where I was going with it. But there were the mushrooms.
Yep.
Yeah.
There were clues.
The Goombas.
The Goombas.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys ever watch the Super Mario Brothers movie?
The one with John Leguizamo?
Yeah.
No, but I heard horrible things about it.
Dude, it is awful. I don't even understand what made them make this movie this way. It's almost like nothing to do with the Mario worlds at all. It's this whole crazy thing.
Were they trying to copy the TV show that they did way back when?
No. They should have done something else, is all I will say.
Yeah, since then, the recent Mario movie was pretty good.
Yeah.
But nothing is better than the Saturday Night Live skit of the dark
Yes.
Pedro Pascal Super Mario movie that was never made.
Yeah, the Mario Kart
that
movie.
movie was going to be phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I wish they actually made that a real movie.
Yeah, the Mario Kart one, so good. Yeah, they did Goombas in the Super Mario movie, but they had small heads and big bodies instead of.
yeah.
And you're just like, that is the exact opposite of what a Goomba is.
How would you go that route? Very strange.
There's stories about John Leguizamo and who was the actor that was Mario? He's a famous actor. He was also Bob Hoskins. They were just getting drunk every day on set because they hated it so much. Bob Hoskins hated that movie. He would trash it every time that he got to, which is amazing.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Chat likes the movie.
Nobody likes the movie.
Crystal said best movie ever.
No. Well, that's
Yeah.
That
who
is an
else?
absolute lie.
Kitten Clown Dozer loved the movie.
it's like a fun watch now. Like you watch it and it's like a, how did this happen? How was this allowed to be a thing?
Elizabeth Young loved the movie. Christian Gilbert says it was horrible.
You know who hated the movie? Nintendo. And they were very careful about their properties after that movie.
Yeah, were they involved? Like how did they let that slide?
They just it's so early, right? Like it's the early 90s. Mario just sort of took off. There's a Hollywood movie that wants to be made. They want to license it, and they're like, okay. And they didn't give too much input into it. And once that came out, they were like, we must protect our properties at all
Nintendo was like,
costs.
we have one stipulation. Has to be John Leguizamo.
Yeah. That's
I
what,
actually love that guy. I love him in most things that he's in. He's great.
man, he did The Pest, which was just a terrible movie.
He's done some bad movies, but
Yeah.
I've enjoyed him in most roles.
I liked him in the Dawn of the Dead remake.
Yeah, that was actually really good.
I think he was in that cooking movie, wasn't he?
Yeah, he played the
Yes, chef.
the
The, hell
The
was
Menu.
that? The Menu. Yeah,
Oh, that was a great movie.
I like The Menu a lot. Yeah, it's a good menu.
He was in John Wick as well.
Which one?
The first
All of them?
one.
The first one?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the main character, the chef?
no.
Oh,
John Leguizamo, who played the
he
He was one of the guests.
yeah.
said
Oh.
Which were the only two roles. You were either one of the chefs or you were one of the guests in that movie. There wasn't.
Oh, there's the staff.
True. Yeah,
That was a good
fun.
movie.
It was fun.
All right, shall we get into our next tale?
Yes.
Why, yes.
This is the one that I didn't have time to write, but I know exactly how I want the story to go, so we're going to see if it works.
Oh, did you cast powder for your story, Dave?
I did. I did so
You did.
well too.
Oh, you did great.
Nobody complimented me.
That's because I obviously wasn't looking.
Clearly, yeah.
Yeah. I was more focused with the fact that you walked down the street while telling your ghost story and weren't in frame at all.
I know. I didn't. It's fine as long as they can hear me, right?
Ah, Fatty Stow. That is a lot of whiskey.
It's not whiskey, it's
We're
apple
sipping.
juice.
That's a lot of apple juice.
That's right. That's in my apple juice decanter.
All right, this is called The Well,
Wow.
and I just burned myself.
Well, we need an ambulance.
You need a well.
He's not doing very well, yeah.
A jumping one.
Hello?
Let's hope not. All right. Get all the startled off of me after burning myself for these viewers.
It's important that you start every ghost story with a third-degree burn.
Yes. As I lay here, I start to remember. Not that I can remember much anymore, but there are some memories that I'll never forget. I was in Italy in my early 30s with some friends. We were touring the countryside, and we stopped in a small village. In this village, we were at a restaurant. We were eating, we were drinking wine. And the locals that we were talking to at the table next to us started telling us tales of how this village was the original village of the first wishing well.
He's in Italy. Play the Italy song.
And they said that this wishing well actually worked and that some wishes were granted. None of us believed them, of course. So we sat there drinking. We returned to our hotel later that night. But I wasn't tired. So Jesus Christ, this fog is killing me.
Okay.
Ugh.
I'm gonna say it's an Italian song. If we want to replay the Italian song that I made earlier.
So as all my friends slept, I woke up and I decided to take a walk. I still had a little bit of a buzz, and as I walked, I came across the wishing well. Whether it was for fun, maybe I believed in it a little, I don't know. I made a wish. And my wish was what most people would wish for. I wish to live forever. I didn't think much of it. We ended our trip in Italy. I went home. I met a girl, Sarah. Me and Sarah began dating. We got married. We ended up having 2 kids. We had a son named Tom, and we had a daughter named Isabella. And our lives were normal. Our kids grew up. There were soccer games. There was dance recitals. There was high school graduations. We both worked. The kids went to college and graduated and had careers. We even had grandkids. Sarah got sick. She ended up dying. And I lived alone for a while. And then my kids started to get older. And Tom, he died in a car accident. And then my daughter Isabella, she passed away from cancer. And I continued to get older. I went into a nursing home. The grandkids would visit me occasionally. This is so bad.
He's getting pelted by smoke. I'm just waiting to see if you survive the story.
Ugh,
I thought he was going to live forever, but he died of smoke inhalation while telling a story.
So I was in the nursing home, and my body continued to get older. I was 80, then I was 90. I'm not standing there. It's too much right now. And then eventually I was the oldest man on the planet. They ran newspaper stories on me. I would catch the nurses taking their phone, doing TikToks or whatever the kids do nowadays. And I kept getting older. My body kept breaking down. And eventually, I slept most of the time. Whether I was in a wheelchair or in my bed. But I was still alive. And then eventually, they came into my room one day, and they checked on me. I was 170 at this point. And when they checked my chest, it was, in their opinion, not moving. I was cold, but I was still alive. At this point, I hadn't been able to talk anymore. I was blind, could barely open my eyes, and they thought I was dead. So they buried me. And now, I'm 6 feet under the ground. And all I think back on is my family and that time in Italy when I wished to live forever. The end.
That was good.
That was good. Yeah.
That was dark, dude. Yeah, it took me a couple minutes. I started to figure out where you're going with this. I'm like, oh shit. That's a good take on the wishing to live forever, because everyone they just imagine like you live forever with youth forever.
Yeah.
But to live forever and continue aging and aging and aging, and your body breaks down further and further,
Yeah.
that's a nightmare.
What's it like?
Yeah, I was trying to, I mean, obviously both of these were different twists on living forever, both of my stories this time.
Yeah.
The irony of you almost dying in the middle
I
of
know,
the story was
I
pretty
know.
wild. Yeah.
I know, it was a little bit too much smoke at that point in time. But yeah, I tried to do like a monkey's paw thing with it. and like the be careful what you wish for. And one of the things that people always wish for is just to live forever.
Yeah.
But they never specify to live forever at the age of, 25 or whatever they allow themselves.
Nathan Smith says Rob is turning into soup in this story.
I have a story.
Oh, let's go.
I apologize in advance. It's not going to be good.
Hang on, let me just go through a few more of these comments because they're kind of funny.
Hurry up before I forget my entire story because I
Is
just
that
came
the-
out with it within the last 4 seconds.
Veronica says, oh my God, are you getting buried alive? Crystal says that was sad. Betsy said that was sad. Phantomette says, is he reading the story just off the top? And who else? Whisper says, don't cry, Rob.
The tears were
You
coming.
almost did.
Yeah. All right, Jesse, go ahead.
All right. This one is called The Dentist. The year was 2009, of course.
Of course.
It was me, my buddy Gary, my other friend also named Gary, and my girlfriend Gary. We had all decided that we were going to take our annual trip camping. It was about 30 miles away, not too far. North, of course. And as we traveled, I realized we're going to have to stop and get gas. So we pull off at the nearest gas station. We fill up the tank. I go in, I'm like, you know what? I could use a Slim Jim. So I get one Slim Jim, which I happen to be puffing on right now. Oh, thank you. Sorry, TikTok, now you have to hear the story. And I think about Gary in the car, and I'm like, you know what? I should get them Slim Jims as well, so I do. I buy 3 Slim Jims. And then I think about my girlfriend Gary, and I'm like, you know what? Let me get a 4th. I don't know if I mentioned the other Gary in the car, but Gary, also Gary.
It's very fallout of you.
Gary! So we make our way into the Rockless Forest, which is where we were camping, of course. And we set up very quickly. Took us about 7 minutes. Tents. Set up a campfire, similar to the one that we have now. A couple more logs, a little bit better. A little bit more of a structure to it. More of a triangle. Have you tried that before?
Never.
Yeah, it's a good idea. And we decided, you know what, it's pretty hot. We should go down and take a swim. So we go there to the spring, and we notice that there are several people standing around the water, but they're not swimming. And we say, wow, they should go for a swim because it's very hot today. I don't know why they're just standing there. So Gary was the first to jump in. And Gary said, wait, Gary, you should put on a life vest. And Gary said, it just doesn't look all that deep. And Gary said, well, Gary, aren't you afraid that it could be deeper than you expect? And Gary said, no, I think I'll be fine. And sure enough, it was only up to Gary's knees. And Gary said, hey, I guess you were right after all. So Gary began swimming, and Gary said, hey, I just want to dip my face in the water. And Gary said, are you sure? There could be bacteria and other things that you should be aware of. And Gary said, I'll be fine. And Gary dipped his head under and came back up. He said, this water is actually delicious. And Gary said, well, I happen to be thirsty. And Gary said, hey, I'm thirsty too. So the other 2 Garys got in the water, and they all drank from the water. And I wasn't ready to get in. I'm the type of guy that I like to sit by the water and sit in the sun and get really heated up before I hop in, because technically I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the cold. So they got up and they said, wow, that water was delicious. You should drink some of that water. I said, you should be careful. Maybe you should boil it first, let it cool down, Typical survivalist stuff. And Gary smiled. And I noticed Gary had one more tooth sticking out of the front. I said, Gary, what the heck is wrong with your mouth? You have an extra tooth. And then Gary laughed at Gary And I noticed, hey, Gary, you also have an extra tooth. I said, what is going on here? My girlfriend Gary looked at me and she said, hey, I want you to make sure that I don't have any extra teeth. And I could see it already. I said, oh my gosh, you grew another tooth. It's poking right through. This is terrifying. Meanwhile, everyone at the lake was still watching, but it was like they knew what was going on. And then Gary screamed. I said, what's wrong with Gary? And Gary said, I don't know, but Gary is screaming. And as Gary was screaming, we noticed another tooth that was poking through. And we said, Gary just grew another tooth. That's too many teeth. Then both of the other Garys noticed that they had 3 new teeth growing. I immediately assumed that there was something wrong with the water. I said, maybe you shouldn't have drank that water. And they said, I think you're right. And at this point, I couldn't even understand what they were saying because it sounded more like, I think they're right. Because they had so many teeth at this point. I screamed out to the people that were standing there watching us. And I said, what is wrong with this water? They said, don't you know? You just drank from the fountain of tooth.
God damn it.
Some body horror.
Are
good.
you excited about that one?
I'm not proud of it. We'll edit that out.
I actually thought it was a good story.
I thought that was great. And you came in with no stories, and it just came to you, the fountain of tooth.
The fountain of tooth just came to me. Everybody's impressed by my talents.
That's pretty good. That was pretty good.
We got some comments on the fountain of tooth.
Oh, sure.
Yes, you did.
Ah.
All the Garys.
I think that was your mistake in the story. Is you shouldn't have named them all Gary. You should have had it all serious until the fountain of tooth. That was
Whisper said that was terrible. Couldn't Clown says that was so bad.
So overall, positive reviews.
Definitely. Stephanie says definitely scraping with all those extra teeth. I have no idea what she's talking about.
I never expected chat to give me negative reviews and you guys to give me positive reviews. That's news. Can I get the lighter for this, Slim Jim?
Oh boy.
This is
yeah,
the biggest curse of my life.
I thought that was fantastic. Me, a perpetual lover of dad jokes and body horror, so I don't know, it was right up my alley. That was fun. What a perfect night.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Except for the smoke.
I know.
The wind that is cursed. Look at it. It's still like, where's Rob?
Hey, bring a fan out here.
You did.
This is
It would serve two
my
purposes.
this is my superpower. Unfortunately, no matter where we are, if there's a campfire, the smoke always follows me. So
We did bring a fan, Kate. You're our fan.
Dave, you are up.
Yes. So I have another story. I guess we'll see how it goes.
Oh, please tell it.
A little more enthusiasm, fan.
Hi, I'm excited.
All right. This story is called.
The fountain of tooth.
You know, you didn't introduce the name of your story.
Well, that would have been
When
a
you started.
spoiler. That's why I
It
called
would
it.
have been.
I called it the dentist.
Oh,
You
that's
did call it
right.
the
That's
dentist.
right.
Who-
That's right.
I mean, obviously I didn't mention him, but it's pretty obvious that he would have got a lot more business after that.
Yeah, it's really a job security thing for the dentist.
It is, yeah. I think he's behind it.
Gary Garrison.
Dr. Gary, DMD.
DMD.
This story is called I Used to Know a Guy.
Don't burn yourself. It's not fun.
I love how our thing is covered in this stuff, and now my hand's sticky anyway, so I might as well just be grabbing it.
I did notice that as well. Not as bad.
Most unfortunate.
It's not as bad as last time.
The raindrops danced on the puddles as I walked down the street. I was walking with my neighbor.
We used to walk all the time. His name was Jeb. We'd walk pretty much every day. And when we'd walk, we'd talk about politics, we'd talk about gossip from around the town, we'd talk about all sorts of things. Lately, we were talking a lot about the rising crime rates and all of the violence that was happening around our town, and how the town leader, who was in charge, he was very vocal about it at first, but had for some reason stopped talking about it and had kind of gone silent. And as we walked and we talked, and the raindrops fell from the sky, we passed all the local houses of the people that we knew. There was Rosa, the old lady, who would sit on her porch, and she'd yell at the kids, but she was always pleasant to us. We liked Rosa, and sure enough, she was out there on her porch despite the rain, and she waved as we walked by, and we waved back. We continued on down the road and talked about other things that were going on around town. We walked past Ruth's house. Ruth was a single mother, nice young lady. Her and I had been talking here and there. Who knows what would come of that? Maybe nothing. I had other hopes. And we kept on walking down the road past Timothy's house. Timothy had 9 kids, and they'd all run around like crazy and bother old Rosa. And then there was the old man on the hill. And his house was a tiny shack. And very rarely he would come out, but we'd see him from time to time. Had a long beard. And the weird thing about the old man on the hill in the shack was that he had this tiny little broken down, run down shack that he lived in, but he had this gigantic barn on the top of the hill. And nobody knew what he would do in this barn. We all wondered. In fact, Jeb and I would often speculate the things that he would do in that barn, and we'd joke about it. And the jokes would circulate around town. But we very rarely saw the old guy. And as we were walking by the house today, we heard something behind us, and we turned, and sure enough, there was the crazy old man with the beard. And he was rambling about something, and Jeb and I stopped out of curiosity to hear what he had to say. And he was rambling about Judgment Day, or whatever crazy thing he wanted to talk about that particular day. And we kind of just stood and nodded as he rambled. And then 2 wasps that were clinging together doing, you could probably figure it out, happened to flutter by in between us and the crazy old man, which distracted us all, and we all stopped talking and just stood and watched these 2 weird wasps. And then the old man grabbed them both and cupped them in his hands. And there was a moment of silence where he didn't squish them, he was just holding them. And we could see him wincing in pain as the wasps were clearly stinging the palms of his hands. And he just grinned and giggled and just ran back up the hill, scurrying back to his barn, and he slammed the door behind him. And that was weird, but we just continued on our way. And I said goodbye to Jeb, and I went home, and he went home. That's when the animals started going missing. The next day I went to Jeb's house, and I was distraught because my 2 cats had gone missing. Misty and Smoke, my cats' names.
Fitting.
Yes. And I went to Jeb's house to see if they had scrambled away to Jeb's house, because my kids were now distraught because their 2 beloved cats had just disappeared. And I knocked on Jeb's door, and he came to the door, and he seemed upset too. And I said, Jeb, what's wrong? And he said, it's crazy. 2 of my dogs went missing. I said, which 2? Because Jeb had several dogs. And he said it was Jack and Jill, his 2 dogs. 2 of his many dogs, they went missing. So I was like, well, let's go see if we can find them. My cats are missing. So we went out and we were looking for our animals, and that's when we found out that Rose's cow went missing, and so did one of her bulls. And the next door, this donkey went missing, and so did another one. And we kept going on, and this was really weird. And then we got to the old man on the hill, and he wasn't out. But we looked up at that big barn, and we wondered, what goes on in that barn? But none of us really had the guts to go up and knock and accuse him of possibly something ridiculous. Who knows, maybe just the animals ran off. It had been raining for a few days now, and who knows. So I went home, and Jeb went home, but our animals never really turned up. And the violence kept getting worse and worse, and the rain kept falling. And the rain kept falling, and the rain kept falling, until the street started running with water, and the water started rising. And I ran to Jeb's house one day because all of my stuff had washed out of our house because the house was flooded now. And I said, Jeb, what's going on? We got to get out of here. And Jeb agreed. So I got my kids and he got his kids, and we ran next door and we banged on Rosa's house. And Rosa didn't come to the door, so we ran to the next door to Ruth's house, and Ruth came out with us with her kids. And then we went to Crazy Tim's house, and him and all of his kids, and we all were running through the streets, and the waters were rising and the streets were flooded. And we looked around and see, my God, everything's flooding. The rain won't stop. And then there was the hill with the barn and the old man. So we ran up to the hill, which was safe from the floodwaters, and we were banging on the old man's door, crazy old man, and he didn't answer. And the water was rising and rising and rising. The levels kept going higher and higher and higher. So we climbed to the roof of that barn, and the waters continued to rise even higher and higher. We're panicking now. We watched Ruth's house completely get washed down the street. Poor Ruth. Poor Ruth, who was with us, her house is gone. Rosa, who never left her house was gone too, washed away. And here we are on the roof of this barn, this crazy old man's barn, wondering what the hell was going on. And just as the water level reached the barn, the doors opened and a gigantic boat flowed out.
Jesus.
Why always during my stories? The crazy old man and his gigantic boat flew out of the barn doors into the waters, and he laughed and said, it's Judgment Day. And we saw on the deck, there were my 2 cats. There was Jeb's 2 dogs, the 2 donkeys, the 2 cows, and crazy old Noah on his boat sailed away as the water levels rose.
Getting stung by the wasps.
Getting stung by his wasps. And the last thing we saw as the water levels rose up above the barn and washed us all away was crazy old Noah sailing away on his boat.
It's the story of the parting of the Red Sea. I know that one.
An ancient story.
Twas a good one.
Thanks.
And now it is time for chat to start
Oh no.
giving us some prompts. So if you want us to do another ad-lib story much like last time, where
Some suggested prompts. Fountain of Tooth.
we'll each
Slim
take
Jims.
2.
Oh, we're going to do the combined story.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
Yeah. You did a story. So.
I did. It was the best one of the night.
Yes. Yes. So we'll do our little ad-lib story. I'm not going to sit back down because this
It's still trying to get you. It doesn't know you left.
yeah, it doesn't know I left. It's still pelting that seat. Maybe I'll come stand over here for a little bit. Start throwing your prompts in the chat, or start letting us know what your favorite story was.
In the meantime, we have a whole new line of Hometown Ghost Stories merch coming out, and it's very exciting.
We do.
For Patreon members, we're going to post up some previews to that pretty soon, once the designs get approved, and so you guys can check them out. They're a little bit different than what we have. Normally we have this regular stuff that we're wearing here, Hometown Ghost Stories, traditional stuff with the logos, but the next batch is going to be a little bit different, so kind of excited to see what we got here. And each order comes with some complimentary stickers provided by the one and only Taco Violator, as well as Wilkins Signs. So some exciting stuff, and a whole bunch of new stuff for Halloween season. And once again, if you haven't already, grab your tickets for the live show, October 24th, Weymouth, Massachusetts. HometownGhostStories.com. I'll take you there.
All right, we got some prompts.
We're not doing prompted ghost stories at the live show, though.
We might.
Who
We'll
knows?
see.
We'll
Who
see.
knows? We'll see where the night takes us.
All right, some prompts are rolling in. We got monkey.
Okay.
We've got broken fondue set. Smoke demon. Sandpaper.
Not taking that one.
Tenderized octopus.
Classic.
Sack of squirrels. Taco. Keep them coming. These are fun. What are we going to each take 2 prompts again?
Yeah.
I will take sack of squirrels and tenderized octopus.
We're not using tenderized octopus.
We used it last time. Do something different.
I have an idea.
Endless belly button.
Believe me, I'm going to breeze right through it. It's going to be good. Endless belly button's a good one. I'll take that one as well.
Jesse wants all of the prompts.
I'm taking tenderized octopus as a throwaway prompt because it's already been used. It will be mentioned. I'm taking that. I'm taking sack of squirrels. I'm taking endless belly button.
All right, I'll take monkey.
Excuse me as I go think before I get distracted by other prompts.
I'll take monkey and gives me some more.
Haunted flashlight. We got some of the other ones were smoke
TikTok
demon,
is making me solve a puzzle piece again.
broken fondue set. What is a fondue set? I know fondue is cheese. Is it a set that makes cheese?
Yeah, it fondues the cheese.
Oh, it fondues the cheese.
I'll take smoke demon. Seems fitting for tonight.
All right. I guess I will then take broken fondue set and aged whiskey. Oh, we got Scuba Steve also.
All right,
We
we're
have a
good.
rain cloud that follows you.
I have smoke demon already.
We have a sack of gerbils. So we have a sack of
stack.
squirrels, and now we also have a sack of gerbils.
A stack of gerbils.
Stack of gerbils.
Even better.
Everybody knows you don't stack your gerbils.
Yeah, you can't do
Terrible idea.
I'm taking stack of gerbils because that sounds challenging. And what else did I say I was going to take?
it. I don't remember now.
Broken fondue set. Okay. I got broken fondue set and a stack of gerbils.
Who's kicking this off?
Who started it last time, Jesse?
Yeah.
Why don't you take it, Rob?
All right. Fuck, what do I have? I didn't say the F word. I said fudge. What do I have? I have monkey. I have smoke demon. We are going to call this tale Gerbils on the Loose.
Jesus Christ.
And forest fires.
That's how you know it's going to be a good story. It was the summer of 1996. I woke up. I was excited. I took a quick shower. I went to my garage and I got on my bike. I went to my best friend's house. They were brothers. One was named Jesse. The other was named Dave, but we didn't call him Dave.
Called him Andrew.
We called him Monkey.
All right.
So as Jesse and Dave Monkey got on their bicycles, we started riding down the street.
One bicycle, one tricycle.
Tandem bicycle.
Dave was in the sidecar. Little bitch.
We were going down the street. We were finally going to do it. We finally had enough courage to go to the haunted house at the edge of town, where we were going to go inside and we were going to explore. As we were on the way, one of Dave's training wheels broke. We pulled over and we told Monkey Dave, that's what we started calling him, was Monkey Dave, that he would have to walk the rest of the way with his little legs. And so Jesse and I rode our bicycles to this haunted house as Monkey Dave slowly shuffled down the street like so. We made it to the house. It was the middle of the day, but the clouds made it look like it was evening. Once Monkey Dave arrived, the three of us looked up. We thought we saw something in the window. Perhaps it was our mind playing tricks on us, though. We had heard tales. There were ghosts. There was a family that lived there. The father used an axe and took all their lives. Every single cliche that you could think of was what was told about the house, but there was no hard evidence. But it had sat vacant for years and years, since before we were born. but we kept watching something move from window to window. It didn't look like a person. It just looked like a silhouette of a person and smoke. Monkey Dave, who had a very small vocabulary, pointed to the window and he just said, "Smoke demon, smoke demon, smoke demon." We said, "That'll be enough, Monkey Dave." We decided to go up to the door. We checked it and it was locked. So we went around to the back of the house. We noticed that a window was open. Some of the teenage kids probably snuck in here often. The three of us got in. As we entered the kitchen, that's when we saw it.
I got it.
Damn. I finished last one.
It was standing there, and we couldn't actually see what it was because it just looked like a shadow on the wall. Tall, mechanical, disjointed, looming. We all stood there in shock. No one had any idea what it was because it wasn't there a minute ago, and it was there now. This house was haunted. Monkey me pointed and said, "Bad." Jesse was like, "Show yourself. What are you?" Rob screamed and collapsed. We both looked at Rob, and Jesse kneeled down by his side and checked his pulse. He was dead.
Oh, God.
He had died of fear. Then Jesse got up and he walked closer to the shadow and realized it was just the shadow of a broken fondue set. I was like, oh, it was nothing. He died for no reason. We were sad, but we had a job to do. So we kicked his corpse into the corner of the room and continued on with our investigation.
Only a little sad. Just
We got over it. You know,
wasn't that bad.
we have work to do. And we knew that Rob would have wanted us to go on with the ghost investigation despite whatever happened.
Surprisingly unimportant to the task at hand.
So we continued investigating, Jesse and I. And we went into the next room, the living room. And that's when we saw it. There was a couch. Which makes sense because it was a living room. But what was extra frightening about this couch was what was sitting on it. And what was sitting on it was a tall, looming figure covered with a sheet. Jesse and I looked at each other and said, "That is definitely a ghost. That is a textbook ghost. It is a figure with a sheet draped over it, and it's scary. It's in a haunted house. What else could it be?"
That's not what Monkey Dave would say.
That's what Jesse was saying.
And Rob
Monkey-
said nothing, though.
Rob said absolutely
He's
nothing.
been dead for 7 minutes now.
Jesse said all that. Monkey Dave just went, "Huh." Both of us were terrified, but we knew it had to be done. Jesse, who had just witnessed his best friend die of fear.
That's a strong word. Acquaintance.
Jesse, who had one of his longest running acquaintances, had just,
Business associate.
business associate, had just died of fear and was not willing to do the same.
Cowardice.
Not cowardice,
I would say he died of cowardice.
Rob, yes, but what
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
saying
not
is
me.
Jesse was not
No,
demonstrating
definitely not
cowardice.
me. Strong,
Jesse
brave,
was
handsome.
Jesse was demonstrating self-preservation. And he said,
Yeah,
"Dave,
Rob was doing the opposite. He was literally decaying,
whatever
decaying
the
right before our
opposite,
eyes.
whatever the opposite of self-preservation is, that's what Rob was doing." But Jesse, demonstrating self-preservation, said to Dave, "Go figure out what that is." And Dave said, "Okay." And we walked over and pulled the sheet off. And thank God it wasn't a ghost. It was actually just a stack of gerbils.
Yes. So we left and ventured into the forest.
Oh no. Were there any rocks? in
We
the forest?
immediately noticed an absence of rocks. Luckily, we were dragging Rob's corpse, and we said, "He's just like a rock."
Rock Coakley.
Rock Coakley, we will call him from now on. Anyways, it was a perfect time for me to start tenderizing my sack of gerbils, which I, of course, was carrying just in case me and Dave got hungry. We had both anticipated that Rob would be dead at this point. Please, some scary music.
I don't have the phone.
I got it. I don't know why I didn't just.
We said,
Too scary. Too scary. Too scary.
please, keep doing that. It'd be nice if you did that 10 more times.
I thought it was gonna.
Jesus Christ! Don't remember what my other prompt was.
You didn't actually have to get into the Monkey Dave
Hang on,
character.
oh yeah, no, I remember now. Anyways, so
Just regarding the
as
prompts.
we were in the forest, we had known that it was probably time to start tenderizing my sack of hamsters, and I thought back on my training on tenderizing an octopus, and I thought, you know, I needed a good 12 hours here.
I hate to tell you, you haven't used a single prompt yet.
I've used 2 of mine:
You haven't.
sack of hamsters, tenderized octopus.
Hamsters. You said sack of gerbils and sack of hamsters. Your prompt is sack of squirrels. So good luck.
So Dave immediately noticed the deficiency and said, squirrels.
Yes. Very, very cognitive of my squirrel deficiency.
Yes, it's one of the many deficiencies that Dave had. And it was, I said, God, I've gotten so many of the wrong animals in this sack. So I emptied it out and immediately began collecting squirrels, which were surprisingly easy to catch. I don't know if any of you have tried this, but catching squirrels is very easy to do. So I caught at least 43 squirrels within a matter of minutes and put them in a sack. Began tenderizing them.
Thank you.
Everybody knows that tenderizing squirrels while they're alive is much tastier than tenderizing them after they're dead. Some say it's inhumane. Some say this will get us banned from TikTok. Some say we just need to solve another puzzle piece to stay alive on TikTok. Who knows? Anyways, we made our way deeper into the forest, tenderizing our squirrels along the way. And we came across a cave. And I said, wow, this looks mysterious. And Dave said, in surprisingly good English, he said, shouldn't we go back to the haunted house where Rob died? And I said, but why? We've been dragging his corpse along the way. And that house was scary, and I don't like being scared. So we traveled into the cave knowing that our safety was at risk. Tenderizing my sack of hamsters along the way, we heard noises that were, well, they shouldn't have been heard in a cave. Footsteps sounding like they were on a wooden floor. Ghostly oohs and ahs that sounded like this. Ooh, ah. And we said, wow, they should put a little more effort into those noises because I don't know whether to be scared or concerned at the lack of effort.
Unenthusiastic ghosts.
So we continued along, following these strange sounds that really sounded like a heavy boot on wooden floors. And we said, where would the wood be? And Dave corrected me. He said, where would the wood be? And I said, would the wood be where you would think it was? He said, the wood would be where I would think it was. Would you? And I said, I would. Put that on a shirt.
We don't have enough money to afford that.
That's so many characters. So on we went deeper into the cave, trying to track down this sound. What was this sound? And there it was again, like a whisper in the shadows, like a voice coming through the storm. Ooh, ah. We said, God, there it is again. Not nearly as enthusiastic or as scary as I would like it to be, but we were concerned because this was a noise that we should not be hearing in this cave. And as we got deeper, there were tendrils coming, emitting from the sides of this cave, tickling us as we walked by. And we tried to remain as masculine as possible, but we couldn't help but walk like this because we were getting tickled from all sides from these tendrils. They looked like long hairs, long dark hairs that made us very uncomfortable. They didn't seem alive, they seemed dead, curly. I looked back and I said, where's Rob's body? And Dave said, huh. And then there it was again. Ooh, ah. We were so terrified at that moment. So we ran. We said, we can't take any more of this. We turned and we ran back, trying to escape this cave. But it seemed like the deeper we went, the narrower the cave would go. So we turned around again. We said, maybe we're going the wrong way. We began running the other direction.
The other what?
Direction. It was a direction. The wrong direction. Back and forth we went, but every direction that we went, every time we turned around, the cave seemed to get smaller and smaller. Eventually, we got out somehow. Dude, I don't know where the hell I'm going with this.
You're going deeper into the
And we
cave.
said, where's Rob's belly? I spoiled it.
You did.
We were in Rob's belly button. It was Rob's belly button the whole time. It wasn't a cave.
You really drove that home.
I'm gonna sit down.
Oh, man.
That went really well, I thought.
You never know where these... Oh, fudge.
Thank you for blowing all of the ashes all over
What
me.
are you doing?
I am covered.
Your tire is dying.
So if this is your first time tuning into Hometown Ghost Stories, we apologize. I am covered. I'm like, what is this? Christmas? So,
Lots of wood comments.
wood.
Yes, Kate said, would it or wouldn't?
Oh, yeah, because of my, it was
Yes.
the big thing I went on. That was the best part of my story,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Stephanie said the wood would be where the woodchuck chucked the wood.
Ah,
Would be says, so the cigar apostle says, would be with the woodchuck. Dang, the sack is a fat sack.
okay.
Fat sack of hamsters, I assume.
Oh, yes. Or squirrels. Or gerbils.
Yep.
One of 'em.
Stephanie incorrectly said it'll later be known as Dave's cave. It was in fact Rob's cave.
It was Rob's belly button. It
That's
wasn't
right.
even a cave.
Endless belly button.
Yeah.
Lots of cry laugh faces. So that's good news. Hopefully they're laughing with us, not at us.
It was a funny place.
Anyways,
Sorry, I just blew out right in your face. I didn't mean to.
It went well. Normally we call the children out to give us some prompts for a ghost story, but I really have no hope that it'll go well after that one.
We hit all the prompts. It was fairly concise. There was spooky music. There was a remix.
Oh, then you played Seth's beautiful guitar music. I don't know if people can even hear the music in the background, but
I couldn't change it. You heard me try several times.
oh, you tried quite a few times.
yeah, I don't know if that's going to pick up either. The fact that you just kept playing the same note.
Murr, murr,
Murr,
murr, murr, murr.
Ay.
Yeah, well, we're going to try to do this once a month, as we said, as well as the weather permits. So we'll definitely be able to do it in September,
Weather
October.
permitting and through the spooky season for sure.
Oh, this
Yeah.
has been great. It's
Maybe.
been great. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Maybe in the winter. We'll see.
We'll get probably to November at minimum, I think. December is where it starts to get hairy. Unlike my belly button, which is perfectly not hairy.
Endless. though.
Nobody knows where it is on his body, though. Could be anywhere.
It's in the woods, the rockless forest, the robless forest.
If you guys like that, please make sure you like, subscribe. We'll be releasing these on the podcast feed about a week after as well. And we're going to be putting those on Fridays once a month as well. So you get the video. That'll be a little bit more cleaned up than these live versions, but these are fun.
You got to tune into the live to get all the authentic, raw realness of the
Yes.
Campfire Ghost Stories.
Yes.
It's true.
Yes, but then you get to listen back to them in your car on your way to work and hear all about the sack of squirrels and my feral grandmother as well.
I mean, honestly, the content that they're missing is the behind the scenes on the fine cooking that we do before the stream. People are missing out. So maybe we'll throw some of that on Patreon. What kind of fine dishes we're cooking? Because we go
Tenderized
all out.
octopus.
Yeah. No. Seriously, last week Dave cooked the
you're
best steaks on the
speaking
planet. I'm being serious. Yeah, Dave cooked some of the best steaks on the planet. This week I smoked up 2 racks of St. Louis style ribs.
Some of the
Custom made
juiciest,
rib.
the thickest smoke ring I've seen in a long
Dude,
time.
that was.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't toot my
Got
own horn
yourself
because
a,
I think I've cooked like 14 mediocre ass racks of ribs in a row. New smoker.
We got
New
yourself a real
style.
smoker.
Oh man, they came out great today.
Oh, yes.
Maybe we'll post some behind the scenes little food pictures on
we should do it.
on Patreon. I think we should. I
Yeah,
think people would appreciate that.
And if you have a short story that you want us to read, I would say more on the serious variety for the beginning part of the show. Send them to the email hometownghoststories@gmail.com.
Doesn't even have to be a true story. You can make one up.
Yeah, that's what we do for these.
You know,
So
make it scary.
Believe it or not, none of these are true stories.
Believe it or not, I'm still yet to write a ghost story for one of these, so I could use. This is just me talking to you. Please send me something I can read. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
the Super Mario story was a true story,
yeah,
sort of.
sort
Definitely
of.
was.
Elizabeth Bathory did exist.
She did.
We don't know that she didn't. You know.
Yeah. The Fountain of Tooth. Everyone's been searching for it. Pretty sure that's how it goes. So.
The
We
only
can't-
one we actually can't agree on whether or not it was a true story was Noah's Ark.
I know a few crackheads in Boston that could definitely use the Fountain of Tooth. They're missing so many.
We can't promise that we'll use your story, but if you send it in, we'll give it a look and we'll try to use it.
Give it a shot for sure.
I think that's going to do it for us.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us on a Friday night. We'll be back on Tuesday with another live episode of Hometown Ghost Stories. Make sure you like and subscribe. TikTok, make sure you, I don't know, follow or whatever it is.
Do the TikTok thing.
Do the TikTok thing.
Yeah.
Donate a bunch of money.
Don't
Yeah,
report
Whatever,
us.
you know?
Give
We'll
us
figure it out.
give us a lion. What's a lion?
Give us a lion. Give
A lion
roses.
is an animal related to a
Well, I
cat.
understand what a lion
Big
is,
teeth. Very
but it's
scary.
like one of the gifts that
Don't
you can
fight.
give.
It's on the don't fight list.
Oh my god! Have you guys watched the psychic that like begs people for stuff on TikTok and she's terrible, and she gives readings from the toilet? It's amazing.
No, but it sounds like a lot of reasons that I wouldn't watch that.
Oh, it's terrible. She's awful.
Have you watched lions eat people?
No, she requests. She's like, I'm not
Never
doing a
in-
reading for less than a lion. I think a lion is worth like $400 or something on TikTok. Like, 'cause you send like different things.
Oh.
So she's.
Has anyone sent him like an actual lion?
I would hope so. Anyways, that's gonna do it for us, guys. We will catch you next time here at our Campfire Tales next month. Later.
You have 4 more seconds to look at Dave.
Look at me.
Oh God, do better.
Why would it let
Look at me.
Look at him now. Oh God, the phone almost fell.